Say hey, Yellow Jacket football fans. Welcome to In the Press Box with Calhoun's head football coach, Coach Clay Stevenson. And, Coach, congratulations on a resounding 37-0 victory last week.
Thank you. It was a good one. I was very proud of them. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought ball game. You know, Adair was going to bring their best, especially at home. They always play really played a higher level there, I feel like, and they did. They got after us early. It was very exciting kind of chippy game early, which is in a good way, with two teams that know each other well. And I thought it was a hard fought game both ways. We were lucky to put some drives together and make some plays to pull away there in the second and third quarter.
Right, yeah. The first quarter, we had a couple big plays that got nullified by penalties. But with that being said, we scored 9 in the first quarter, 14 in the second, and 14 more in the third. And then we had a running clock in the fourth quarter because we led 37-0. It seemed to me you substituted prolifically in the fourth quarter. Maybe started with a few subs late in the third quarter.
Yeah, we got our most of our two-way starters out, and then we got a couple of defensive linemen out there with probably 6 or 7 minutes to go in third. I guess when we went up 30, I think it was 30-0.
Right.
I think we scored 7 more after that, but was able to get some really quality reps with some backups, and then like you said, once we got into the fourth quarter, we started wholesale subbing. But it's always good for those guys to get reps on Friday nights. It's always tough. Those first 4 games that we play, it's tough to get guys in, and it's a long time to practice for those guys to not get to see the field on Friday night. So games like Friday night that we could sub in that fourth quarter are always good for the morale, and also just to get some guys some film so that we can go back and make some corrections that they need to get better off of. So all in all, it was a good night for sure.
Trace Hawkins with 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Jut Beasley. Let's see. I think Jut is up to around 7 touchdown receptions in the season, and Trace is up to 12 touchdown passes. Trace also threw a touchdown pass to our
Bo Kelly.
Bo Kelly, do everything. I had a brain strain there. And then Hudson Chadwick with 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, it was a good night offensively. We had 2 called back that we could have separated a little bit earlier, but they were two good calls on the officials' part. We held a couple of times, but we were able to, those 2 drives, and that puts us behind the sticks because we were in plus territory. We just, I hate punting from the 50, but it was, I guess, 3rd and 25 or so a couple of different times. So those 2 drives I'd like to have back, but other than that, I feel like we moved the ball, fairly well throughout the night.
Exactly. Do you remember players of the game?
Yes, offensive player of the game was Bo Kelly. Had another great night. We caught a touchdown pass. Defense was Alec Upshaw. I think that's his second time getting it, playing really great. That's going to be great when we get Jackson Williams back and we can bump Alec back to linebacker some or keep him on the defensive line. So
one question before you move on. Him on the defensive side is like having a stud offensive player on the offensive side that you can put a receiver, running back, whatever.
Yeah, it's been a really good move for him, being able to get down there in the trenches and mix it up some. That defensive front on Friday night played unbelievable. They didn't really have an answer for our up front guys on the defensive side. Special teams was Lever Mendez, who he had 4 touchbacks.
I had 4 touchbacks.
Yeah, I think he had 4 out of 6, maybe 4 out of 7. I can't remember how many times we kicked, but best night of kicking he's had in his career in practice as well. He was just something got into him, and a couple of them were 4, 5, 6 yards deep.
Yes, they were.
Zone. So hopefully he can keep that up moving forward. Hog of the week was Trey Perkins. Continues to play at a high level.
I have so much fun watching him play basketball because he's not the greatest jumper as far as getting off the court, but he positions himself well. He sees the court well, and obviously that translates to the football field.
Yeah, it does. He's done a great job for us the last couple of years, and like you said, did a good job on the hardwood also. Extra mile and heart speed have Jackson Williams and Kenneth Hudson. And then practice players of the week had Blaine Gross, Davis Rudell, Landon Tibbs, and TK Christian.
Who'd you have for extra mile?
Extra mile and heart speed were Jackson Williams and Kenneth Hudson.
Kenneth Hudson. Okay, good. I'll get the rest later on. We won't slow the fans down from listening. Okay. Yeah, congratulations to all. It was a heck of a ball game. If we have time later on, we'll go over some season stats. But the season stats for the pound and shoot offense is just doing really, really well. And defensive stats, we're in the plus territory in turnovers for the season, offensively and defensively. They're playing well, and anytime you get a shutout, I don't care who it's against. That's something to hang your hat on.
Yeah, it was nice. Doing a good job of bouncing back after the last couple of games defensively, and pitching a shutout was huge.
Before we get to this week's coming game, just a couple of things that I picked up from the Georgia High School Football Daily. Colquitt County scored in their 228th consecutive game. Now, those are games that you lose and win, but you've scored in them. The Yellow Jackets had the 11th longest streak in Georgia high school history with 172 consecutive games. That was accomplished from the 2004 through the 2016 season. So we had a stretch at one time where we scored in 172 consecutive games.
Wow, that's impressive.
With a lot of victories in there also.
That's right.
So, yeah, best. Also, Jutt Beasley had 7 receptions for 146 yards and 2 more TDs. We were marveling how his per catch average just keeps going up every week, because
right.
it seems like he averages over 20 yards a catch, but it seems like they're always 30 and 40 yards, throwing a couple down and outs. And he was in the best of the rest players last week for the Georgia High School Football Daily. So congratulations to him. So we have a homecoming week game coming up against Ridgeland. I believe it's their coach's second year as the head coach there.
Yes, it
at
is.
Ridgeland.
Yep, Coach Pritchett, second year.
Yeah, nice guy. Seems to be turning the program around.
Yeah, they've got some really good athletic kids that can take it to the house at any given time. They're up front. I feel like they've improved tremendously from last year to this year, so they're able to make some holes for those guys. But like you said, overall, just improvement from last year to this year has been on film anyway. It's been very noticeable.
Yeah, and we saw this last year at the end of the game when we were up there playing them. They played a lot of the same guys that they started the game with, which was fine and dandy. But you saw some athletes out there.
Yeah, they've got several, like I said, that you got to keep an eye on both sides of the football, and they're playing harder, which means they're playing at a higher level this year than they were last year.
Yeah, exactly. So how this is homecoming week, a coach's biggest dream and / concern all at the same time.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just making sure they act right with everything going on, because there's a lot of distractions and a lot of stuff going on that's outside of the X's and O's of football. So our main message is just to make sure they're having fun with it, because you're only in high school one time, so
right.
You want them to have fun with the dress-up days and the float building and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we still have a football game Friday night, and we've put too much work into the season, into each other to throw it all away and not be focused during the homecoming week. So as far as on the grass this week, the first 3 days has been really good. That was probably our best Monday practice we've had all season, and followed up with a good Tuesday and Wednesday. But still, just the focus off the field, they switch it pretty quick. So, but hopefully we can finish up these last couple of days and show up Friday night and take care of business, and then they can worry about the dance and all that kind of stuff after that, and then we'll move on to fall break next week.
You are a veteran coach now, 15 years as an assistant coach. You're in your 7th year as a head coach here at Calhoun. Have you seen any difference in homecoming preparations from when you first started as to now? Or is it easier, same?
I think it's the same. We have a lot of extracurricular stuff that goes on just a lot of times anyway at Calhoun, which is what makes us it makes it a special place. So I think our kids are used to, I don't want to call them distractions, but they are distractions with just the hoopla of just different things throughout the year. So homecoming obviously is the biggest one, but I feel like the kids do a good job of separating that stuff over the years. And like I said, hopefully this year is no different, and we're doing the things we need to do. But as far as just overall through the years, kids are kids.
Yes.
They change, different things change around them, but teenagers are teenagers. It doesn't matter if it was 15 years ago or today. So you gotta take everything with them with a grain of salt, because they're going to do some good things and they're going to screw up and do some bad things. So hopefully, like I said, we can get through this week with none of the stupid things that show up this year and move on.
Yeah, and as in my case, 60 years ago, when homecoming is always a big deal.
That's right.
I don't care where you are. It's just a big deal. One thing that I was going to bring up earlier, Isaiah Knowles is doing well.
Yeah, he's good. He came home from the hospital on Saturday afternoon, and I don't know what kind of follow-up stuff he's got to get, but he was able to come to practice yesterday afternoon. So it was good for the kids to see him out there and just doing tremendously better than obviously what we all thought Friday night on the ground. So,
scared to death.
Yes, and it scared him as well. So very proud and happy to see him back.
So practices have gone well. This is a team that is going to play with a little bit more intensity. You look at their 2-4 record. Don't be misled by that, folks, because this team is getting after it. Their coach is young, dynamic, and he's got this program moving in the right direction. Nice challenge for us to keep building where we want to be, because the region is going to get tougher, different. A week from Friday, we got a big game coming up against Northwest, but that's way off in the distance. So the guys are continuing to improve.
Yeah, weeks like this, I told them during Monday meeting, it's about ourselves, to make sure that we're practicing and doing the things we need to do to keep the standard where it needs to be. And that's been the focus for us this week. And like I said, we've had really good practices Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So hopefully we can polish it up tomorrow, and it leads me to believe that we'll show up Friday night ready to play.
The pound and shoot offense has some nice offensive stats going so far. Trace Hawkins has thrown for 1,179 yards. He has thrown, 12 touchdown passes. He's averaging 236 yards passing per game, and he can't do any of that without Bagley's beast up front doing a blocking job, because they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, they're improving each week, and very pleased with where they are, and I'm looking forward to see where that up front how much we can keep progressing up front.
We have a three-headed running back situation. Hudson Chadwick leads the team with 308 yards rushing. Isaiah Knowles would probably be leading the team again this week, except for the injury. He has 300 yards rushing. Let's see, Hudson has 6 touchdowns. Isaiah has 4 touchdowns. And then down there at the bottom, you got Tony Reed, a lot of reps last week. He's up to 115 yards for the season, total rushing. So that was good for him.
Yeah, those 3 guys are it's great having 3 capable. Actually, we can really go beyond that. But the 3 that are getting carries, so that one's not having to have the entire workload has been very crucial, and it'll be a big key moving forward.
When you mention diversity, we look at the receiving corps. Jackson Moore has 10 receptions. Jaden Perkins only has 4, but he's a whale of an athlete. Jet Beasley has 36 receptions for 727 yards. He averages over 20 yards a catch. Junior McConnell's been getting a lot of playing time. Hudson Chadwick catches the ball out of the field. Isaiah Knowles out of the backfield. Blake Hammett's got a couple of receptions. And Bo Kelly, our do-everything guy, it seems like he never leaves the field. 6 receptions, but he's a key part of this receiving corps.
Yeah, being able to spread it around has been nice, and it lets Trace not just hone in on one. He can go through his reads and trust that everybody's going to be where they're supposed to be.
A lot of people pay attention to the offense, but you don't get victories without the defense coming along. And Coach Morrow's black shirt defense is doing a really good job right now.
Yeah, they are. They're flying around. Friday night having that shutout, like I said, after the 2 games prior to that was big for those guys' confidence.
Yeah, it really was, because there was a lot of points scored by both teams in those 2 games, and sometimes maybe a player thinks, well, maybe we're not doing the job we should be doing, but those are 2 pretty high-powered offenses we went against.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was Cambridge and Cartersville. It was just something else. So as we said, we're in pretty good health.
Yeah, we are.
I assume Isaiah's not playing this week.
Yeah, no, he's out. Like I said, I don't know exactly what he's got coming up, but we're just glad to have him back and at school yesterday and today. So health-wise, we're getting there. Still trying to work with Jackson Williams. He put on pads this week and got to practice some. So looking forward to finally, at some point having everybody out there and healthy.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to let you get back to your duties. It is a busy week, and we can't wait for the game on Friday. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful evening to play football. Any final comments?
Nope. Looking forward to it. I know we're doing a tribute to Eddie Reeves before the game. I think his family is going to be on the field, so that'll be a moment everybody wants to take a part of and remember what he did for the not only the school system as the board chair, but did a lot for football. Every Monday morning, there's the first email that all of us got was for home games anyway, of him trying to get all the information he needed for Friday night so he could do his best work as the PA announcer. So it'll be a different feel Friday night for sure. We got Brad Gross that's going to step in for the rest of the year and do doing the PA, but it'll be a different type of Friday night to get used to. So, thoughts, prayers are still with his family and close friends as we get this. I think the funeral's on Saturday. So, tough week for them, but hopefully we can show up Friday night and show the support for their family and move on.
Eddie and I worked well together. We always exchange starting lineups from the opposing teams. I will miss seeing our silver-haired friend sitting in that chair. I'll miss hearing. I will probably hear his voice several times in my head, and I wish Brad the best. Obviously, our prayers are with the Reeves family, because this is a tough time, and like we said, we will miss him greatly. He did a fantastic job, so our best to the family. Folks, you've been listening to In the Press Box with Coach Clay Stevenson. Go to CalhounTDClub.com and click on the website, and you can listen to In the Press Box with him. Coach, good luck and good health to the Yellow Jackets. It's going to be a happy homecoming. We'll see all you fans at the game. You've been listening to Coach Clay Stevenson on In the Press Box.